Cone and Weirman back at it for another battle. The first clamp comes from Cone. He flips it back to himself, and he gets the win. 10 wins for each side in the face-off battle. Cone holds it himself. He's got a pull on his left hip. Rode him all the way to GLE and runs off the field. Muley controls for Syracuse, attacking the right cage.
That's another great thing about Mason Cone is he's 210 pounds. He can fend off a long pull and really get it into the Syracuse offensive end without potentially turning it over.
A shot from deep, a bouncer too far left. Luke Roa looking for his third goal of the day, couldn't find it. Ball bounced out of bounds in the far corner. Spallina, the closest player, backed it up for the Orange, and SU keeps it. Stevens, straight away, about 20 yards out, gave off left. Burt Whistle whips, that one hits the post. Owen Hiltz backing it up in the near corner, goes out of bounds. Syracuse keeps it. Some hustle plays by Hiltz and Spallina to keep the ball in Orange possession. Roa fires and finds the top left 90. Luke Roa with the hat trick, Syracuse with a 1-goal lead. It's 9-8, 2 minutes into the fourth quarter.
I mean, Owen Hiltz and Jackson Burtwhistle are known as shooters, but Luke Roa just fired that one to the top left corner. That was one of the most impressive shots I've seen all season from Syracuse.
Just the second half trick of his career. His first was in the last game of 2023 in an 18-15 loss to Duke. This one he's hoping isn't a loss for Syracuse. Cone and Weirman trying to break a stalemate on the Block S logo, each with 10 wins for their teams today. Whistle blows, they both clamp down. Weirman flips it back to himself and pushes up. The Terrapins moving with pace. Chorus gives off left to his teammate Murphy. It's returned to the restraining line. Weirman stayed on the field for a little bit there, but instead gives off to his teammate Urksa, who shoots well, fading away, and ties it right back up. Urksa with his second goal in a 1-minute span, and it's all tied up again, 9-9, 2.5 into the fourth quarter.
How about Braden Urksa? Now 4 goals on the day. He had 4 coming in through the first 2 games, just putting on an absolute clinic at attack for Maryland, really against Syracuse's best cover guy, Riley Figueres.
Not too surprising out of the sophomore, led the Terps with 48 points last year, just the 3rd freshman in program history to do that. Weirman now with the advantage over Cone on faceoffs. They do battle again. Whistle blows. Another false start, but this one goes against Cone. It's Maryland ball. Now with the chance to reclaim the lead. Tied 9-9, 2.5 minutes into the fourth quarter.
We've talked about faceoffs a lot today. It was even entering the fourth quarter. Now Weirman winning 2 of 3 to start the frame.
Maltz moves down the right alley. Got a screen from his teammate Murphy, but gives back to X. Molliver comes around the crease near side, pushed back by Kakemo, and Kakemo is hurt. He is moving on one leg and falls to the ground. Syracuse is down a defender here, and the refs blow the whistle before Maryland can take advantage of it. Nick Kakemo making his first start of the year. Didn't make contact with anyone. His knee just locked up. He was hobbling on one foot. And the player he started in front of, Caden Cole, steps onto the field as a substitution. You gotta hope that's not as bad as it looked, Jordan.
Yeah, Kakemo hopped off the field. He did start every game but one last year, the one game being Princeton, so he has experience on the defensive side, and now got another experienced guy in Cole on the field replacing him.
Whittier gives it off to Brennan near side. Now back to GLE, and there's a steal for Syracuse. Figueres pushed the ball and the stick out of Brennan's hands. The Orange working on the fast break left to right. Tied up 9-9, looking for the lead. Owen Hiltz not slowing down, moving right to left, thought about a deep shot at the restraining line, and finally takes a deep breath.
It's a great decision there by Owen Hiltz. You don't want to move too fast. You're tied at 9. You just had a very good play on defense by Riley Figueres. You got to make sure to take advantage of this momentum. This crowd is just waiting to pop right now.
The first line midfield back out for Syracuse. Thompson, Leo, and English. Far side goal line extended. Spallina passes up to Thompson, shoots, misses just high, backed up by Muley. Syracuse keeps possession. Muley at X. Swings to Leo, near side. Goal line extended. Starts working towards the crease. Spins again, bounces it in to the back of the net. Michael Leo did it himself, and it's back on top for the Orange. 10-9, SU leads 4 minutes into the final quarter.
I was just a young kid who had a dream of playing at Syracuse from the time I was in 5th grade, and I was seeing that dream come true. Back then, I think it was evident to everyone who watched me play at Syracuse that I was struggling on the court.
Joseph turns it over in the open floor and fouls Hamilton. Three-quarter press works for La Tech as Caleb Joseph, who's been a turnover machine this year, throws one straight into the hands of Alex Hamilton.
And off the court.
At Syracuse, high expectations and high pressure led to Joseph struggling with his mental health. It's a battle he's continued to fight for the last decade, including time at Creighton after transferring and professional basketball in Europe. A few years ago, Joseph hit a low point.
I was still struggling. I was still carrying a lot of guilt, still carrying a lot of shame. I was actively living in an addiction at the time, and I wanted to kill myself. I literally wanted to kill myself.
Let's go back to earlier in Joseph's journey at Syracuse.
It was some of the best times of my life.
High lob pass taken away by Roberson. Up ahead to Joseph. Drives middle, dunks it home just before the buzzer.
It's some of the hardest times of my life.
You know, he makes a really good play and then he makes a horrendous play. Makes a really good play and he makes another horrendous play.
But it ultimately led me to the work that I'm doing now.
The work Joseph's doing now is the Self-Help Tour. He travels around the country sharing his story with young adults, coaches, and parents. Joseph gives them strategies to take care of their mental health and handle whatever life throws at them.
I think we see them struggle because of an inability to manage their own self. We just need to do a better job of equipping the athletes with more tools to better manage it.
There's a lot for student athletes and college recruits to deal with in today's day and age. One new part of the landscape that they have to manage is name, image, and likeness.
To give a 17, 18, 19-year-old kid hundreds of thousands of dollars, how do you not expect that to create an unhealthy relationship with the sport, to create unhealthy expectations for themselves?
Another is handling fans and reporters in the social media age. It's something current SU head coach Adrian Autry agrees with Joseph about.
The fans have access to the players at a rate that is far more intimate than it's ever been before, and the athletes have access to what's being said about them at a rate that's higher than it's ever been before.
If you think that these families and these kids don't read that, they do. And that impacts them. Whatever you read and put into your mind and your body, that manifests itself.
It creates a level of insecurity. And when you're insecure about something, you're going to gravitate towards the opinions of other people rather than being secure in what you know to be true about yourself.
Joseph's work is impacting athletes in particular, but that's far from his only audience.
I want every athlete that I work with to connect the dots between their personal experience and their athletic experience, because they're the same person in both arenas.
For example, just last week, Joseph visited Greenwich Country Day School in Connecticut. He met with the boys' basketball team, but he also spoke to the entire school. Athletic Director Tom Helstein was in awe of the impact.
Now, I've been at this school for 14 years. It was one of the most powerful things that I've been a part of as an educator.
At the end of the day, Joseph is happy that he can give others the help that he wanted when he needed it most.
The things that I struggled with are the same thing that that some of these athletes are struggling with. The difference is, now there's help and resources and access to information that makes their life a little bit easier than, mine was at the time.
Tyler Aitken, WAER Sports.
All knotted up. with just over 9.5 to go in the first half. Copeland kicks to Brown at the top of the arc, swings to Starling right wing. Working on Bumbelow, but kicks back to Benny Williams on the left wing. He goes inside to Brown, a turnaround to layup, no good, but a foul. Brown was pushed in the lower back by Obioha, and so he's headed to the charity stripe for 2 shots, trying to break the stalemate.
Good activity. Brown's really good at making himself available as an option from the free throw line and in. And good job going up strong against the bigger player in Harlan Obioha.
Brown puts up his first free throw and sinks it, so 18-17 now. Syracuse leads. 9 minutes to go in the first half. Brown's first points of the day. He had 13 against Oregon. He's been very accurate from the field this year, 73%. 10 for 12 on free throws as well. After those 2 makes, he just made his second. He's up to 12 for 14. Syracuse on top by 2 points, 9 minutes to go. Henderson kicks to Bumbelow, front court right. Now to Obang Menza on the logo, and Williams almost stole it. He poked it away. Obang Menza reclaims the ball, and he gives it up. Passed it right to the orange, and Benny Williams goes up for a huge dunk, and he's just barely fouled. The ball goes out of bounds. He's going to take 2 shots.
My goodness. Randy Tucker, look out below. Benny Williams, he almost went from a standstill position with a casual tomahawk. I was just going to say, it just feels like there's no energy in the crowd right now. There's just no juice. Syracuse needs to start to speed up Niagara to gain a lead.
Williams' first free throw off back iron. So it stays 19-17, Syracuse on top. Marble re-enters the game, takes Obang Menza out. He was only out there for about a minute. It was Randy Tucker who stood tall against Benny Williams. Prevented the posterization dunk. After that made free throw by Benny Williams, it's 2017 SU on top. The Orange come out in a press defense. Starling picking up Henderson full court. Henderson crosses the timeline, kicks to the left wing, Marble. Denies his screen and drives to the baseline instead, trying to back down Williams, and he can't, so he kicks back to the top with Henderson. He doesn't use another screen, kicks off to Tucker on the roll. He shoots a 3 and misses from the top of the arc. Williams with the rebound for the Orange. Cuff moving fast the other way. Euro step, layup is good. From his left foot to his right foot into the hoop. It's 22-17, Syracuse leads, 8 minutes to go in the first half. Marble gets a screen on the right from Obioha. Again, doesn't use it, kicks to Bumbelow instead. He works to the right wing, drives to the hoop, blocked by Brown. Pins it against the backboard. It's Syracuse ball. Cuff on the right wing. Up top to Copeland, drives to the hoop, pushes down Bumbelow, and makes the layup. Greg Paulus is irate. Syracuse scores, timeout Niagara. It's 24-17, the Orange lead, under 8 to go in the half.
Kind of got away with one right there. Paulus, every right to be upset, have a conversation with the referees. But the larger point here, Tyler, Syracuse finally playing with more pace, being active on defense and pushing it in transition.
A 7-0 run in the last minute and a half, and Syracuse up 7. It's 24-17, the Orange lead. We'll be right back with more. You're listening to Syracuse men's basketball on the original home of the Orange, WAER.